his mark. The Big Apple, a symbol of big city, big crime, instantly known to millions who've never set foot in New York. The Empire State Building, in the 70s, the tallest building in the world. Then right down to the subways, in the 70s, the most dangerous underground in the world. I began my underground journey at Grand Central Station, a sumptuous concourse for trains and subways alike. Friends told me conflicting stories. I expected the worst. But where are the graffiti trains? Has the New York subway changed? Is it really safer underground than on the streets? David Gunn, the man in charge, believes it is. He's so enthusiastic he won't even own a car.
In a city like New York, you're going to have some crime. The vast majority of passengers have trips which are uneventful. They may be entertaining in some respects, but they're uneventful. And I think the system is a marvelous system, and it's safe, and I use it. And when my mother comes to town, she uses it. I use it. It's safe.
Would you let your brother ride it in the middle of the night? I mean, obviously your mother doesn't ride, but say 11, 12, would you feel safe about her riding it that late at night?
My mother? Sure. You don't know my mother.
Not everyone will risk their mother. Not Curtis Lewa, leader of the Guardian Angels, the youthful group of vigilantes who patrol the subways.
If David Gunn were to ride out into Brownsville, East New York, and Brooklyn, through the South Bronx, he'd probably need rubber underwear and a bulletproof vest. He'd have a far different view of the subway system that he feels is getting so much better.
Irreconcilable points of view. To resolve the question, I convinced a New York friend, Roger Swaybill, who hasn't used the subway for years, to join us. He almost didn't make it. With Roger's safety on board, I asked him what he had against the subway.
I abandoned the subway for two reasons. One was aesthetic. Basically, the aesthetics are unpleasant. Filth, noise, jarring ride, crowding. And then the greatest concern, which is safety. I have no desire to put myself in gratuitous danger. There's enough random danger in life. Why look for trouble? To me, riding the subway is looking for trouble. It's an accident waiting to happen.
There's no way he's going to change his views. But for those who really got serious hang-ups, New York has more psychiatrists per square inch than any other place in the world. Erica Freeman, for instance.
There's always a fear of down below. I mean, hell is supposed to be down, not up. So there's a whole sense of entrapment, of being anything below the earth is more dangerous than anything above the earth. There's the fear of the unknown, and there's this, what I would call the fear of the known unknown. You know what could happen, but you can't be sure that it will, and you hope it won't.
In the end, I was never absolutely convinced one way or the other. Most of the time, I felt safe on New York subways. But late at night, going from Brooklyn to Manhattan, even with a policeman in every car, I was almost sure nothing would happen. But in New York, one is simply never positive. In my curiosity, I went to the Coney Island yards to see the old graffiti cars. Graffiti used to symbolize the danger of the subways. New Yorkers hated them. Many still don't know they've been cleaned up. There, I found the rolling artifacts. They were almost as colorful as columnist Jimmy Breslin.
People say the rattle, the rumble of the subway, and it sways and it's hot and noxious. To me, a subway line runs on silk. It's smooth, it's wonderful. We're nothing without it. There is no city without the subway. As there is no Breslin in New York without the city, without the subway, there would be no city of New York without the subway.
And no other place can you get the longest subway ride for $1. I give New York 8 for trying hard. Friends will say I've been overgenerous,